So lesson 2 is over measures of central tendency and also measures of dispersion. So the first part, y'all all should have at some point seen mean, median, mode, mid-range, maybe not the last two, but for sure the mean and median. So the mean is the average. You take the sum of the data items divided by the number of items. Mini pink. And then here's the formula for that down here. The median is going to be the middle number in a set of data items. And if you look at the notations and formulas, it tells us that if the number of data items is odd, then the median is the middle number. If the number of data items is even, then the median is going to be the mean of the two middle items. Mode is going to be the data item that appears most often in a data set. So mode equals most. It says down here, if there's more than one data item that has the highest frequency, then each of these data values is a mode. So that means that you can have more than one item that is a mode. And also you can have no mode if there is no data value that occurs most often. And then the last one is mid-range. We find the mid-range by taking the lowest data value plus the highest data value and dividing by 2. So our exercises. Number 1, we are going to find the mean. So our mean, or our average, we're going to take the sum of our data items and divide by the number of items. So we have 7, 4, 3, 2.
Gross!
Oh no. It's not working.
Yeah.
I wonder if it got anything to do with the people working.
I don't know. Your video froze up for about 30 seconds, Miss Fulbright.
Can you, is it still frozen?
No.
Oh, okay,
No.
okay.
No, it's not. It's not. It froze up. I was just about to raise the hand to send you a message,
Okay.
and it came back up.
Okay. So everything's good?
Yes.
Okay. All right, number 1, find the mean. So we are going to take the sum of the data items and divide by the number of items. So when we add all of these up, did anybody work it out?
4.125.
Okay. So you should get 33 and then divided by 8. And that gives you 4.125. B. We'll do the same thing.
4.125.
Sorry. Alright, B, we'll add everything up again and then divide. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did anybody work it? You should get 32.9 divided by 10, and you should get 3.29. Okay. Now, on C, we're still going to find the average or the mean, but this one is a little bit trickier because they give it to us as a frequency distribution table. So the way, you can do this 2 ways. You can list all of the scores out and then find the mean that way. But there's also another way. So what this means is that we have the scores 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 8. We have one person who scored a 1. We have 3 people who scored a 2. And you can go all the way down. We have 4 people who scored a 3. So this would be the long way of doing it. Or you can multiply each of these across. And you can add up you can sum the multiples of all of those. So I'm going to list out both of the ways so you can see which way I guess works for you. This one you can list out. List out.
Is it 4.71?
Yes. 4, 4, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. And then, like I said, you can do it that way, or you can multiply the table. So list out or multiply. So 1 times 1, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 6 is 30, 6 times 5 is 30, 7 times 3, 21, and then 8 times 2 is 16, and you would add all those up, and you should get 132, and you would divide that by the number of items, which is 28. Everybody okay with this one? There is a test question that is like this for the mean. All right, second one is the median, which is the middle number. So remember, if it's an odd number of items, it's going to be that middle number. If it is an even number, then we have to find the mean of the 2 middle numbers. So you're going to have to list these out in order. So 1, 2, we've got 2 3s, we've got 4, 5, and then 7, 8. So you have to list them in order first, and then you can actually go through and find the middle, which is going to be 3 and 4. So remember, if there's 2 of them, you have to find the mean. So 3 plus 4, and then divided by 2. So we get 3.5 is our median. Okay. What about B? We have to put everything in order. We have 40, 40, 60, 70, and 100. So what would our median number be?
60.
60. All right. What about C? So
1.95.
how did you get it?
Put them all in order, divide the 2 middle ones.
1.4, 1.4. We've got 3, 4, 1.4s. Okay. Then we've got 1.6, 1.8. What else? We've got 2.1. And then we've got 2.2 twice. 3.0. And then we've got 9.0 twice. So what are our 2 middle numbers?
1, 8, and 2, 1.
Yeah.
Yep. So we would find the average of these two numbers, and you should get 1.95. Everybody okay with this? Okay. All right, our mode. Mode equals most. So the number that appears more often than the others. So what would our mode be on A?
95.
95, because it is in there twice. Everything else is only in there once. What about B? We got 4.2. 2.5 is in there twice. Is anything else in there more often? So we have two modes. We have 2.5 and 4.2. Remember, you can have more than one mode, and you can also have no mode. So what would our mode be for C?
Zero.
No mode.
No mode.
Because there is no number that appears more often than the others. Alright, the last one is find the midrange. So the midrange is found by taking the lowest data value, adding it to the highest data value, and then dividing by 2. So let me scroll back down. We take the lowest, add it to the highest, and divide by 2. So 1 plus 8 divided by 2 should be 4.5 on A. What about B? What's our lowest?
91.
91. Our highest is 99. Divided by 2. Should get 95. Alright, the next part of lesson 2 is the measures of dispersion. So we're going to be calculating the range and standard deviation. So the range is the difference between the highest and lowest data values in a data set, and it indicates the total spread of the data. So the range equals the highest data item minus the lowest. And then a standard deviation is how much each of the data items differ from the mean. So there are 6 steps to finding the standard deviation. If you look at your notations and formulas, it tells you each step to calculate the standard deviation. You find the mean of the data items first. You find the deviation of each item from the mean, so each specific data item, and you minus the mean, and then you square each deviation from step 2. After that, you're going to sum the squared deviations that you found in step 3. Number 5, you will divide the sum from step 4 by n minus 1, and then n represents the number of data items. And then last, you will take the square root of that answer from part 5, and that is your standard deviation. So let's look at our exercises. The first exercise is to find the range. So remember, our range equals the highest minus the lowest. So on A, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 range. We take our highest, which is 5, minus our lowest, which is 1, and our range equals 4. On B, we take our highest which would be 5. And then our lowest is 3. So here our range equals 2. So range isn't too difficult. The standard deviation is where we get into the more intricate steps. So I'm going to write down each of the steps as we go along on this first one, and then we have 3 different exercises for the standard deviation. So step 1, let me change our color. I'm going to do the dark blue. So step 1, we are going to find the mean. Remember from the previous part, mean is our average. So step 1, we take the average of these items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whenever we find the average, we take the sum of all of the items and then divide by the number of items. And if we put it into our calculator, we get 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. We get 15 divided by 5 equals 3. Step 2 is to find the deviation of each data item. So if you look up here, we're going to take the data item minus the mean. So I'm just going to write deviation, and then I'm going to write data item minus mean. So step 2, we have our items is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we are going to subtract the mean from each of these items. So 1 minus 3 is negative 2. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. 3 minus 3 is 0. 4 minus 3 is positive 1. And then 5 minus 3 is 2. Step 3 is to square each deviation. So square deviation. So 3, we have negative 2 squared, negative 1 squared. I'm putting these into parentheses because whenever if you do this in your calculator, if you were to just do negative 2 and square it, it would square 2 first and then it would make it negative. So we want negative 2 squared. 0 squared, 1 squared, and then 2 squared. So negative 2 times negative 2 gives us a positive 4. Negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. 0 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. And then 2 times 2 is 4. Step 4, we are going to sum all squares. So step 4, we are going to add all of these up. 4 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 gives us 10. And then step 5, we are going to divide our sum by n minus 1. So remember, n is going to be the number of data items. So here n equals 5 because we have 5 items. So we're going to take our sum . We're going to take our sum from part 4 and divide it by n minus 1. Since n equals 5, it would be 5 minus 1, so it would be 10 divided by 4. I'm not going to quite do that step until we get through step 6. Step 6 is to find the square root of our quotient. So step 6, we would take the square root of 10 divided by 4. And we can put this into our calculator. If we do second, and then this x squared is actually our square root, whenever you hit the second button, and then you can do 10 divided by 4, and it gives us our standard deviation of 1.58. Most of these, they're going to want you to round to 2 decimal places. So 1.58 is our answer. Alright, on B, we're just going to do the same steps that we just did. The first step is to find the mean or the average. So 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 divided by 6, because there are 6 items, so n equals 6. Okay, so 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 equals 24. Divided by 6, our mean equals 4. Step 2, we are going to take each data item and subtract the mean. So we are going to subtract 4 from each item. So 3 minus 4 gives us -1. 4 minus 4 gives us 0. And then 5 minus 4 gives us a +1. Okay. Step 3, we are going to square each of these. So -1 squared, 0, and then 1. So remember, -1 times -1 gives us a +1. 0 times 0 is 0, and then 1 times 1 is 1. Step 4, we are going to add all of these up. And we get 4. Step 5, we are going to divide our sum from step 4 by n minus 1. Here n equals 6, so it would be 4/5. And then step 6, we are going to find the square root of our answer from part 5, so 4/5. Remember, second, and then this x squared button, 4/5 gives us 0.894. So it would just be 0.89 if you're doing 2 decimal places. Alright, and then our last one, we have 95959595. So step 1, find our mean. Okay, so we've got everything. 95 is repeated 4 times, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So n equals 8. 9 plus 5 plus 9 plus 5 plus 9 plus 5. If it's easier for you to multiply, you can do that. I'm just putting this out there so that there's no confusion with anybody. 8. So our mean equals 7. Step 2, we're going to take each item minus the mean. Okay. These repeat 4 times. Oops. Oops, hang on. Let me rewrite this. Okay, so 9 minus 7 equals 2. 5 minus 7 is a negative 2. So all the way down we have 2, negative 2, all the way down. Okay, step 3, we are going to square each of these. So we have 2 squared, negative 2 squared, and we do that 4 times. Okay, so each of these are going to be 4 because 2 times 2 is 4, and then negative 2 times negative 2 is also 4. So we have 4 all the way down 8 times because there are 8 different items. Step 4, we are going to sum. So 4 plus 4 plus 4, or you can just do 4 times 8. We have 32. 4 plus 4 all the way down, or 4 times 8 equals 32. Step 5, we are going to divide 32, our answer from part C, by n minus 1. N equals 8, so 32 divided by 8 minus 1 equals 32 over 7. And then step 6, we take the square root of that, and that gives us second square root 32 over 7, 2.138. If you do 2 decimal places, it'll be 2.14.